All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you are tuning in. So, my name is Irena Anggreni, and if you're new to me, I'm a wellness leadership coach and also your partner in mental fitness. And I would love to welcome you to our third session in this mental fitness series. So, this started just really impromptu, and now that we are on the third episode, let's call it. So it seems like this keeps going, and you can see me, in the coming weeks with more mental fitness boost. And if you've joined our previous sessions, so we've talked about the three-step mental fitness for meaningful success and happiness, and also a deep dive into our inner judge. So you know that kind of you've caught up with that. You know that we've been exploring how to take our hands off the hot stove of self-sabotage. And today's topic is going to be more specific. We are focusing on the application of these insights of mental fitness, and also kind of the inner judge, or awareness of the inner judge as a leader. Yeah, particularly the role of leader as a coach for building team cohesion and success. So I'm especially excited about this topic because it's really transformative to how we approach leadership in a way that optimizes both performance and well-being. Yeah, so it's and not performance at the expense of well-being, but both. Yeah, so both performance and well-being, as well as for both the leader and the team members. Yeah, so if you're just joining for the first time, also if you catch the replay, just drop in a quick hello in the comments and let me know what leadership challenges you're currently facing. I'd love to hear from you. If it's top secret, you can also DM me, okay? So let's start with, perhaps a common experience many leaders face. So leadership can sometimes feel like a burden, right? Especially when we have people under our charge, we want to take care of our team members, that they grow, that they are satisfied, that they are they feel a sense of belonging in the team. But also at the same time, we probably need to give challenging performance feedback, or deal with team members who are always pushing back, always confrontational, or we need to work with people who seem to receive the feedback all right, but they don't act on it. So how do we keep them accountable? And also just a host of complex interpersonal dynamics, and at the same time we still need to achieve results. So often leaders, I want to acknowledge you, often leaders also need to manage up, because you are responsible for the performance of your team, right? So any of this situation can activate our stress response, and guess what shows up when our stress response is activated? Our saboteurs. These negative thought patterns that we covered in the previous live. We've discussed it in the previous sessions as well. And when our saboteurs are triggered, then we might become overly critical or super controlling, and we are avoiding difficult conversations altogether, or perhaps even take on all the work ourselves. Anyone has been there? I've been there, because in my earlier leadership journey, I found myself constantly stepping onto the playing field instead of coaching my team members from the sidelines. So my hyperachiever and controller saboteur, it's really hijacking me and convinced me that I needed to be involved in every detail to ensure the success of the team. And I thought, of course, now I know better, but back then I thought I knew best, and course, I wanted things to be done fast, so things, better go my way. But you know what happened? So not only was I exhausted, but my team also felt micromanaged and not given a chance to shine, to grow. And I was myself keeping my hand on that hot stove of pushing and pushing while wondering why everyone seemed so tense around me. Yeah. So if that resonates, just drop a smiley or an emoji in the comment. And with that example, that brings us actually to a powerful analogy that I want to share today. And this is coming from kind of my work as a positive intelligence coach. So leader as a coach. Yeah. What is this whole approach about, leader as a coach? So imagine a sports coach, standing on the sidelines during the game. So what is the coach actually doing? If you've seen it live or you've seen it on TV, So the coach, they are fully present and engaged. They have their eyes on the game. They are observing the patterns and they are providing strategic guidance and tactical as well, and offering support when needed. But they are not on the field playing the game themselves, right? So that is the essence of transformative leadership, being fully engaged without taking over, supporting without controlling, and also challenging without criticizing. So the traditional leadership model often relies heavily on authority and directive approach. Kind of, okay, you have to do this by this and so on. No questions asked. If I ask you to jump, like you just say how high. But this whole approach, leader as coach model, uses, guess what? Influence rather than authority. And that means leaders also model the behavior they seek, and they remain on the sidelines rather than the playing field. So I want to clarify before you start to think, oh, what does it mean standing on the sideline? So let's clarify that. Standing on the sideline doesn't mean disengaging from the game. So like I explained earlier, it means you are present, attentive, and focused on the continuous growth and development of your team members. You are not micromanaging, but you're also not hands off. You're not neglecting your team and just do whatever they want. No. So it's the sweet spot, the balance between these two. And when you lead as a coach, your ultimate goal is to develop your team members to their fullest potential. And that means optimizing also both their performance and their well-being. And here's the beautiful part. This approach, leader as coach, also simultaneously lightens your leadership burden while improving the results of your team. And this perspective also changes how you view leadership challenges. So instead of seeing a difficult team member as a problem to fix, you see them as a player developing their skills, still honing their skills. And instead of taking responsibility for solving every issue, you help your team members develop their own solutions. So not all the burden is on you as leaders. So how do we make this leader as a coach approach work in practice? Is it about applying all the tactics, the new strategies, or learning new skills and hiring in-house coaches? Yes, they all can help, but let's not forget the very foundation for all these things to work. And guess the foundation, what is it? The foundation is mental fitness. Both yours as the leader and your team members. So mental fitness is it's coming from the breakthrough research in positive intelligence. It's your capacity to deal with life's challenges with positive mindset instead of negativity, instead of stress, anger, and so on. And it's a capacity that we all can build. Yeah, so we've covered the core concepts in the previous sessions. So just to hash it very quickly. So basically it's very simple. First, catching your saboteurs in action. Second, practicing it's an exercise called PQ reps to basically recharge our brain and activate our wisdom or sage. And third, using those sage powers, your own sage powers, to respond effectively to whatever challenge you face. And these mental fitness practices create the foundation for effective coaching leadership because they help you remain calm and centered while giving difficult feedback, for instance. And you are also more able to see the big picture, using empathy to see situations from multiple perspectives and focus more on growth rather than judgment. And also there's there's more creativity to respond to the challenge. And most importantly, you can take decisive action aligned with your values. So I want to share, my personal story, my experience so far. So I've worked with clients who are smart professionals, and often they are with hyper rational tendencies as well. So it's commonplace to be skeptical. They want to understand, why are we doing this? Where is the research to back it up? Or they ask if I've done it myself and what's my results and so on. Yeah, who recognize that? Maybe you recognize that in your team or in yourself. So I resonate with this. I'm quite similar inside. So that's why instead of feeling frustrated, and because I have empathy for myself, then I have empathy for my clients as well. I don't feel frustrated why they are asking so many questions, and it seems like they are scrutinizing whatever suggestion I put forward. But in the coaching relationship, I see it more that it becomes a dance, a dialogue. So one particular leader I worked with was struggling with a team member. Let's call him Mr. X, this team member. So the Mr. X here was confrontational and pushed back on feedback. That my client felt like, okay, every conversation felt like a battle, and we've sent Mr. X to training and workshops, but the improvement was just very short-lived. And instead of getting frustrated and more, so this client started working with me to develop her mental fitness, and she learned to intercept her own saboteur, her judge and controller saboteurs. And she could really use this exercise called PQ reps. She could do quick ones before meetings with Mr. X. And basically what she does is just focusing on her breathing or the sensation of her feet on the ground before giving her feedback to Mr. X. So this absolutely helped her, the leader, this leader, because then she could approach the conversation from her wisdom, from her more positive perspective, both empathy and at the same time also the firmness of her her activate power. So firm but compassionate. So rather than focusing solely on results, oh, Mr. X, you didn't deliver this, but she actually began addressing about which saboteurs are showing up, how Mr. X saboteurs are showing up, and how is it not serving him. Now she could have stopped there because she's already leading by example there, but the game changer was when she was being as a leader, a coaching leader. She dared to be vulnerable, and she invited Mr. X also to develop his own mental fitness alongside her. So as they both grow in their mental fitness, their conversation, their feedback session transform from confrontational to more collaborative. And also, her team member, Mr. X, began to recognize his own saboteur and how they were holding him back. So what's remarkable here is that this works even with team members who might initially seem very resistant to coaching. When introduced correctly, with also willingness to be vulnerable, and even the most resistant people have that moment of recognition, that aha moment, that actually that mental fitness can make their lives easier, and they can change how they work and relate with others. So let's explore. So there are 5 sage powers. The antidote to or negativity or stress, or is that we need to focus on these 5 sage powers, which in itself already improve our emotional intelligence, because a lot of these sage powers directly builds on our ability to manage our emotions and also manage emotions in relations. So let's explore how these 5 sage powers apply specifically to leadership coaching. So the first sage power is empathize, which allows you to truly understand what's your team members' perspectives and experience. And when you're coaching, this empathize power, the empathy, creates psychological safety and it builds trust. So one applicable action here before giving your feedback. So think about, when is anytime soon that you will have such a conversation where you have to give feedback to someone, maybe your team member or your spouse or someone else. First, pause to consider what might this person in front of you be experiencing right now. That's practicing your empathy. And the second, now we are moving on to the second power, which is our explore power. And this explore power enables curiosity and openness. So instead of coming into an interaction already full with assumptions and I know the solution, we have to go this way exactly, but instead of that, ask powerful questions that help the members discover their own insights. So some example of these questions are like, what's another way to look at this challenge? Or what is something we haven't considered yet? Just to open it up. And the third power is the innovate power. So this power helps you and your team, and pretty much anyone who dares to apply it, to break free from conventional thinking. That you go out of the box. And especially when facing obstacles, uncertainties. This really encourages creative approaches. Questions you can ask, like, if we had no constraint, if the sky is the limit, how would we handle this? Or what could we try that we've never done before? And the fourth is the navigate power. So this navigate helps you make wise choices among alternatives, because yeah, quite often ideas are very easy to generate, but then like, okay, do we want to do them all? Most often the answer is no. Yeah, so that's why we have to make wise choice. And when coaching team members through tough decisions, this navigate power helps you and helps your team also to clarify what's the priority based on their values. Yeah, rather than imposing your solution. So again, like, discover like what are these values that we have as a team, and use that to navigate towards your decision together. And the last one, the fifth, see, I can count, is the activate power. This activate power is about taking decisive action with clarity and purpose. So sometimes, sometimes leader as a coach require also not only compassion, but also directness, firmness, healthy boundaries. And this activate power helps you have that courageous conversations whenever you need it. Now, with using this sage power in your leadership, you create the conditions for yourself and your team members to develop their mental fitness and reach their potential. Okay, now let's talk about how you can start implementing the leader as coach approach right away. So first, don't start going to change people. First, start with yourself. Commit to your own mental fitness practice, and of course, this is something you already know, but I just want to remind you can only coach others effectively when you are operating from your wisdom, from your sage self. And the foundation of your daily practice to continue nurturing that wisdom is this very short mindfulness exercises called PQ reps. PQ stands for positive intelligence, and reps, just like reps when you go to the gym. And it's something that you can do even just 10 seconds at a time. And if you're, oh no, not another thing on my to-do list, yes, you've got time. You've got time for this, because it's just like 10 seconds at a time. You don't need to do even anything super special. We will try a PQ rep together after I finish my list here. So second, especially in the context of giving feedback, or having like conversation that you feel, it's going to be a bit challenging. See if you can frame it in terms of that, kind of like acknowledging the saboteur and the impact, and inviting that wisdom, that sage powers, rather than making it as a personal criticism. So an example here, for instance, if you're the one giving feedback, you can just state your observation. Hey, I noticed, when these X and Y happened yesterday, I noticed a pattern that might be your controller saboteur in action. Let's say, how is that serving you? So with curiosity and with, of course, not with mocking tone. How is that serving you? But really with genuine curiosity. And third, you can model that vulnerability by acknowledging your own saboteurs. When your own saboteurs show up, like what do you, how is that impacting you? What do you do when your saboteurs show up? And to acknowledge and normalize actually that every one of us has a saboteur. No one is like perfect and complete saint. So this creates actually psychological safety for you and for your team to do the same. To acknowledge your own saboteurs. They show up, and And then that leads us to the fourth step here, that you can create permission for for mental fitness practices in your team. Yeah, so an example from the PQ team itself that I hear, like, kind of in the, I'm not like embedded in the PQ team, but I hear that from Shirsat Samin, who's the founder and the leader of the PQ team, that anyone, so this is a great example, anyone can suggest taking a 2-minute PQ break. Yeah, so a break to do this exercise PQ reps before important discussions or when tensions arise during a meeting, let's say. And everyone also agreed never to refuse this request. If anyone asks, okay, can we have like a 2-minute PQ break, it will never be denied, yeah, because they know it's for the good of the team. And that brings us to the fifth and the last, kind of most importantly, leader as coach, remember to stay on the sidelines. Yeah, you provide the guidance, the support, and the feedback, but resist the urge to jump in and take over. Yeah, I know this is, I'm laughing because it's my own my own tendency. But yeah, that's an important reminder. Now, let's wrap it up and close this by doing a quick PQ rep together right now. Yeah, so you're not like leaving feeling curious, like, yeah, she talks about PQ rep, but what is this? So it's a very simple exercise. You can do this even longer, or later again. So this is just one way. Yeah, you can place your fingertips together and rub it so gently with just enough pressure, and focus fully on the sensation of these two fingertips rubbing each other. Focus on the sensations for roughly 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds is also around the length of 3 breaths. Yeah. Now, with your mind quieter, you can ask yourself, how would my sage approach, how would my wisdom approach my current leadership challenge, whatever that is. Maybe you notice, a slight shift in perspective, and simply notice that. Now, to really wrap up here, today we've explored how the leader as coach approach works, and it's built on the foundation of mental fitness, and it can transform your leadership effectiveness while reducing your stress. Yeah, that feeling of like, oh, heavy burden, it's all on me. No, yeah. We can have leadership also with more ease and more flow when you develop yourself in this approach, leader as coach. And again, a reminder, like the most powerful coaches stand on the sidelines, with their eyes fully on the game, present, engaged, but not playing the game for their team. It's their, let your team members shine. Now, the question I want to leave you with is the following. So where in your leadership right now are you still jumping onto the playing field instead of coaching from the sidelines? And without any judgment, don't feel like, oh, I'm a bad leader. No, like that's your judgment. So, but simply discern and reflect and be honest, like where in your leadership right now are you still jumping onto the playing field instead of coaching from the sidelines? I mean, it could even be at home, like maybe like, oh, I never let my spouse, go to the kitchen and cook, and because like I want to do things my way. I mean, personal experience. I'm working on that. And also reflect on how might your team's performance and your own well-being improve if you shifted your approach, yeah, towards more leader as a coach. How might your team's performance and your well-being improve if you shifted to the leader as coach approach? Okay, now as a closing, yeah, first stop for you, like your next action, if you are a leader as coach wanting to build your mental fitness, like things that I mentioned here resonate with you, I have a free saboteur assessment. Yeah, it's from Positive Intelligence actually, and this assessment is like a 5-minute quiz. It will help you identify your personal saboteur patterns, and I'm just going to share that here. Yeah. So this also goes with the some other gifts. Yeah. So the first 5 people who comment or DM me leader as coach will receive a complimentary 45 minutes coaching session with me, and we will focus specifically on applying these principles, leader as coach, to your leadership challenges. And you can always drop your questions in comment or DM me. Also, if you're watching in replay, and if you want to engage more actively in this conversation, I'm planning actually a sharing circle and a Q&A session or brainstorming. So let me know if you'd like to be invited. Yeah, drop it in a comment or DM me. And join me next time for more mental fitness boost that will take your leadership to the next level. And again, thank you for being here. And keep in mind that every one of us, but especially if you're a leader from any walk of life, you can be a leader in your family, a leader in your own journey as well, by doing your own inner work. Each time you intercept your saboteur and then you choose to lead from your wisdom, from your sage, you're creating space for both your own high performance and well-being, for yourself and your team. So I'll leave it at that. I wish you a wonderful day further, and see you again next time.